students, welcome back. Now we are going to see the third unit of guidance and counseling subject, that is tools and techniques for guidance. I have provided you with a quick revision notes at the end of the chapter. You can go through them and please give your valuable reviews in the form of comments so that I can improve my channel. The first question, what are the techniques for guidance? Techniques for guidance refer to the systematic methods that are used to collect, analyze, and interpret data about individuals for providing effective guidance and counseling. Okay, so they are the techniques which are used to improve the guidance and counseling sessions. They help in understanding the abilities, interests, personalities, behavior, and problems of students. They form the foundation for guidance services. So without the set of techniques, guidance cannot move forward. Okay, they help in correct diagnosis and proper guidance. Okay, without proper techniques, guidance will become unsystematic and ineffective. So these techniques ensure that guidance is scientific, objective, and need based. Okay, they're widely used by teachers, counselors, psychologists, and administrators. So what is the meaning and importance of guidance and guidance technique? They help in collecting reliable and relevant information. They assist in understanding individual differences among learners. They provide the basis for decision making. They help in identifying strengths and weaknesses and problem areas. They support in predicting future performance and behavior. Okay, you can go through the meaning and importance of guidance techniques. What is the classification for techniques for guidance? First, non-standardized techniques. Next, standardized techniques. What is non-standardized techniques? They are informal and flexible methods. Okay, they do not follow strict standard procedures. Okay, they are mainly based on observation, experience, and judgment. They are very easy to use in school setting. What are the examples? Questionnaire, observation techniques, sociometry, autobiography, anecdotal records, interviews. We are going to see all this sociometry, anecdotal records. We are going to see all of this in detail in the further questions. Okay, what is their importance? They're useful in understanding personal and social aspects. They help in gathering qualitative and descriptive data, and they provide a deeper insight into the behavior and emotions of students. The second one is standardized techniques. Non-standardized techniques are informal techniques, whereas standardized ones are formal and scientific methods with fixed procedures, unlike the non-standardized one. They are developed using standard norms, reliability, and validity. They provide objective and measurable data. Examples include intelligence test, aptitude test, achievement tests, interest inventories, and personality tests. So, what are their important? They provide accurate and reliable results. They are useful for comparison and prediction. They help in scientific decision making. Role of techniques in guidance processes, they help in data collection and assessment. They help in diagnosing the problems accurately. They support in planning suitable guidance programs. They aid in monitoring the progress and follow-up. They improve student adjustment and development. And they help counselors to provide individualized guidance. That is based on the particular student, they give guidance. They ensure that the guidance is systematic and evidence-based. Evidence means proof-based. What are non-standardized techniques? Explain in detail. Now, previously we have seen a small bit of it. Now we will see it in detail. So they are informal, flexible, and qualitative methods. Okay, they do not follow fixed procedure. They depend on skill, experience, and judgment of the counselor or the teacher. They're widely used in school because they are easy to follow and they're economical. They help in understanding personal, social, emotional, and behavioral aspects. Okay, they're very useful in studying real life situations. What are the characteristics? They're flexible and adaptive. They're based on subjective judgment. Okay, they provide qualitative data. They are very easy to use in school settings. They do not require special training or any complex tools. They focus on individual behavior and experiences. They are useful for exploratory and diagnostic purposes. Now, what are the various methods of non-standardized techniques? Questionnaires. Okay, there are a set of written questions that collect information about that collect information from students. Okay, then what are the types of questionnaires? Closed end questionnaires, open end questionnaires. And the second one is observation techniques. That is systematic watching and recording the behavior in the natural setting, that is in the environment of the student. Okay, they help in understanding the actual behavior of the student rather than the reported behavior. Okay, it can be done in classroom, playground, or social situations. It can be done in any informal settings. Okay, then sociometry. It is a technique that is used to study the social relationships and group dynamics. Okay, group dynamics means how people in the group are getting along with each other. That is group dynamics. They help in identifying leaders. Isolates is people who are always, you know, in their own world. If they are isolated, rejected, and accepted members of the group. They're useful in improving group adjustment and social development. So, what are the types of sociometric techniques? Nomination technique. In this nomination technique, students are asked to choose their peers for certain activity. Like students only are given the choice to choose their friends. Then social acceptance technique. Okay, it measures the degree of acceptance or rejection of individuals. Okay, it helps in identifying popular and neglected students. Okay, then who's who and guess who technique. Okay, here students will identify the peers who fit to certain descriptions. Like teacher asks a student, who is the most helpful student? So it will help the student understand the personality traits and social image of the other students. Okay, it will help a particular student understand how the other student is. Then fourth one, autobiography. It is a self-written account of an individual's life. Individual will write about his own life. Okay. It reveals personal experiences, feelings, attitude, and aspiration. Then anecdotal records. They're short, descriptive records of significant incidents in a student's life, a particular incident in a student's life. Okay. It helps in understanding the specific behavior of students. Then interview. It is a face-to-face interaction between a counselor and a student. Then what are the advantages they provide? Rich, qualitative and detailed data about the students. They are flexible and can be used in various kinds of situations. They help in understanding emotions, attitudes and behaviors of students. They are useful for individual student analysis. What are the limitations? There is subjectivity and bias. The teachers may show liking to one student and she may keep another student away. So lot of bias can be there. It it lacks reliability and validity. Since there is no proper formal method, it is not a proper formal method, it will lack reliability and validity. It is difficult to generalize the findings and it requires a lot of skill and experience. It is time consuming. Though it is economical, it will consume a lot of time. What is autobiography? Autobiography is a self written account of an individual's life describing his personal experiences, thoughts, feelings, and aspiration. It is an important non standardized technique to understand the inner world of an individual. Okay, it provides first hand information directly from the student. Okay, it reflects the personality, attitudes, emotions, values, and life experiences of the individual. Okay, it will help the counselor to understand in detail about a student's personality. What's the meaning and nature of autobiography? It is subjective and personal narrative. It includes both past and present feelings. It reflects a self-perception and self-concept. What the individual thinks about himself. It can be structured or unstructured. It provides qualitative and descriptive data. It helps in understanding the unique personality of an individual, of each individual. Then what is the types of autobiography? Structured autobiography, unstructured autobiography. What is the content that is included in the autobiography? Personal information, family information, educational experiences, social relationships, interests and hobbies, ambitions and goals, and various problems and challenges that are faced by the students, and emotions and attitudes. Okay, these are the uses of autobiography. What are the uses? They help in understanding the individual personality and behavior. They help in understanding the emotional conflicts that a person is facing from within. Okay, it throws light into the family and the social background. It assists in diagnosis of student difficulties. It helps in developing a rapport between the counselor and the students. So it has both advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are it is first hand and authentic information, and it helps in understanding the inner emotions and attitudes. It is simple and economic method. It is useful for individual case study and counseling. What are the limitations? Again, it will include a lot of bias and exaggeration. What is exaggeration? If there is a very small thing, okay, a person may project it as a very big thing in his autobiography. Okay, it depends on writing ability and honesty, and some students may hide important information. So since it is totally based on the student, he might exaggerate few things, he might hide few things, complete information may not be available. What are rating scales? They're systematic tools that are used to measure and evaluate the degree or an intensity of a particular trait, behavior, or characteristic of an individual. Okay, they help in accessing the personality traits, attitudes, habits, skills, and performance levels. Okay, it shows how much or to what extent a trait is present. That is, it will in most of the cases it will have a numerical value. Okay, then it helps in comparison, objective comparison among students and tracking development over time. Okay, then what is the meaning and nature of rating scale? As we know, it is a device consisting of series of categories or gradation, basically a numerical value, okay, to judge the behavior of a student. Okay, it is based on systematic observation and judgment. It can be numerical, descriptive, or graphical. Even graphs are drawn out of these rating scales. Okay, it helps evaluating traits like leadership, cooperation, punctuality, emotional stability, and communication skills. Okay, it is used in self-rating, peer rating, or even rating the teacher's performance. It provides both qualitative understanding and quantitative scoring. Characteristics of a good rating scale. Clearly defined traits. Then it should be limited. It should have limited and meaningful categories to avoid confusion. It should be objective. It should be reliable, valid, and should be very, very simple. And the instruction, whatever they are given, they should be having a lot of clarity. So clarity in instructions should be there. Then comparability. Okay, it should allow comparison among various individuals. It should be very sensitive. Okay, that is, it should be able to detect very, very small differences also. And it should be very practical. How to construct rating scales? First, identify the trait or behavior that is to be measured. Then define the trait in clear and observable terms, and decide the number of categories, 3-point or 5-point scale. Then provide clear description of each level. Ensure that there is a balance between positive and negative traits. Finally, you have to check the reliability and validity, how much it can be used. Okay, will it give clear results? Will the children be able to understand? So one has to check the reliability and validity. And then finally, one has to use it with clear instruction. So let's see the examples of rating scales for clear understanding. Okay, now we in this first example, this is a 5-point rating scale. We are trying to see how punctual the students are. What is a trait? Trait is punctuality. So these are the numbers that are given: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 means excellent. That means always the student is on time. Good is given 4. That is usually on time. Sometimes he is late. Then average is 3. He is sometimes late. Then poor is 2, often late. Very poor is he is always late. He is not at all punctual. Second one is graphic rating scale. So it is given in the form of a picture. Class participation. Okay. Low to high. Okay. What is the trait that has been observed? Low to high. Okay. Then descriptive. Like we are saying cooperation. Okay. What is the level? High, medium, low. Description. It is described in clear terms. Okay. High means actively helps others and works well in groups. Medium means cooperates only when asked. Low means rarely cooperates with the teacher. Okay, these are the some of the examples. What are the types of rating scales? Explain each with examples. Okay, we have seen what is rating scale in the previous slide. Let us see the types of rating scale. Types of rating scale. So the first type is descriptive rating scale. In this type, each level of rating is clearly described in words explaining the behavior or trait. That is, clear description is given about the rating. It provides qualitative meaning to each category. That is, quality is given a lot of importance. This is used when clarity and understanding of behavior are given more importance than numerical scoring. Let us see a small example. Level and description. What description? Discipline. So here we are seeing how disciplined a child is. So this is the way, these are the 4 various levels. Excellent, good, average and poor. In excellent, he always follows the rules without supervision. This is the description of the level. Okay, good. Follows rules most of the time. Average, sometimes follows rules. Poor, he rarely follows rules. So what are some of the features? Clear description is given. Helps even inexperienced raters because it is clearly described. Even inexperienced people can also easily understand. Useful in school settings for behavior evaluation. What are the advantages? Easy to interpret, reduces ambiguity, provides meaningful feedbacks. What are the limitations? It still involves some judgment and it is difficult to maintain uniform standards. Next one, graphic rating scale. It uses a continuous lines between two extremes, such as low to high. Low is one extreme, high is one extreme. A line is drawn between the two extremes. Okay. So one extreme is pointed by one mark and the other one is pointed by another mark. The rater marks a point on the line representing the intensity of the trait. So let us see an example. Interest of a person in studies. Okay. First one extreme is very low. Other extreme is very high. A line is drawn between both the extremes. And this point marks low intensity. This point marks very high intensity. Okay, so this is the graphic rating scale. What are its features? It is flexible and simple, and it can capture even small differences in the behavior. It is used in psychological and educational assessment. What are the advantages? Quick and easy, visually clear, and can represent gradual differences. What are the limitations? There is lacking of clear categories. Okay, and it is less reliable without proper guidance. As you can see, without anybody explaining this let us see this example. Okay, without anybody explaining this, you cannot understand. So it requires proper guidelines for somebody to understand this graphic rating scale. Third one is forced choice rating scale. Okay, in this rating scale, the rater must choose between two or more statements. Okay, often equally desirable. That means two or more, the two statements or more statements will look equally same. So the rater must choose between both of them. It will reduce bias, such as leniency and halo effect. What is this halo effect? We are going to see in the later slides. So in simple terms, I will explain what halo effect is here. Halo effect is nothing but one trait of a person or a thing is used to make an overall judgment about that person or a thing. Like for example, you consider a person to be very nice. So even if he does anything wrong also, you will not consider his mistakes. You will consider him as nice only. So that is a bias. Okay, that is halo effect. Even if a person seems nice to you, his mistakes also get covered. That is halo effect. Okay. So this forced choice rating will reduce that halo effect. Okay, example. Select one statement that best describes the students. A works quickly but makes mistakes. Works slowly but accurately. Both of them looks the same, but the rater has to decide something from both of them. Okay, what are its features? Statements are designed to be equally acceptable. Let me look at this. Both the statements are looking almost similar. It forces the rater to make clear decisions. Why are they made almost similar? So that the rater will clearly understand and make decisions. He will read each word very clearly and then take a proper decision. So, what are its advantages? It reduces bias. It increases objectivity. What are its limitations? It is difficult to construct. True now, when you are asked to make both the choices in the same way, it is a very difficult to it is very difficult to frame it. May restrict natural judgment, not suitable for all traits. Fourth, paired comparison scale. Okay, so in the each individual is compared with every other individual in pairs. That means for two individuals are taken and the best among them is a pair of individuals are taken and one is chosen as the best. Is this line means that two are taken and one among that is chosen. A pair is taken and the best among the pair is chosen. It helps determine relative superiority in a specific trait. Like, for example, you're comparing leadership qualities. A person A is compared, A and B are taken. Which among both of them is better means A is better. A and C is taken. Which among A and C is better? C is better. B and C are taken. Which is better? B. So a pair is taken and the best among it is chosen. It is more, what are the features? It produces more precise comparisons. It is useful in selecting the best candidates. What are its advantages? Accurate ranking, and it is useful for very small group. Like if a group of 10 people are there, and then it is effective. But if a group of 100 people are there, then it is very difficult to make pairs, and then it is very difficult to choose one among the pair. So it becomes very tedious when large number of groups are there. Okay, it is time consuming. What are the limitations? It is time consuming and it is not usually practical for large class size as we have discussed before. The next one is rank order scale. In this, individuals are arranged from in the order from highest to lowest based on their traits. So it is helpful in showing the relative position, but it does not show any exact difference. Okay, example. When we see examples, you can understand all these concepts better. Okay, that's why I have included example for each category. Rank in academic performance. First, student A, second, student B, third, student C. So these ranks are arranged from highest to lowest. What are the features? It is a simple method for comparison. It is the commonly used one in classroom ranking. Advantages: easy to use and provides clear hierarchy. Limitations: it does not show how much difference exists. Like first, first rank is backed by student A. Second rank is backed by student B. But it shows the order, but it does not show how many marks A got more than B, how many marks B got more than C. Okay, that means it does not show how much the difference exists. It is difficult when students are similar in ability. Okay, when if suppose A and B gets the same rank, then this cannot be used, no. So that is what they are telling here. Then sixth one, numerical rating scale uses numbers, example 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 to represent the level of performance. Each number corresponds to the degree of quality or behavior. Like for example, scores are given 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 means excellent, 4 good, 3 average, 2 poor, 1 is very poor. So this scale is the features are these scores can be easily easy to convert into scores and statistics. Okay. Then this is very common in report cards and evaluations. What are the advantages? It is simple and quick. It is suitable for qualitative analysis. What are the limitations? Just numbers will obviously lack meaning. Okay, it needs proper explanation for accuracy. Seventh one, checklist rating. Okay, a list of specific behaviors or traits marked as present or absent. Just a small, very easy kind of rating. That is just put a tick mark for specific behaviors or traits if they are present or absent. Sometimes use along with rating scales for better clarity. Example, participates in class, check. Completes assignments, check. Helping others, check. So it is very easy. What are its features? It focuses on specific observable behaviors. Useful, very useful for behavioral assessment. What are its advantages? It is objective and it is easy. It saves a lot of time. Okay. What are its limitations? It does not measure the degree or intensity. Participates in class, they have put tick. But how much does he participate in class? There is no clarity. He completes assignments. They have put tick. But to what extent he completes assignments? Does he complete assignment always or only sometimes? There is no clarity. Okay. Then the next one is comparative understanding. Okay. Okay, this is a small summary. Okay. Summary of the all the uh, rating scales. I have provided it for easy understanding. Okay. Descriptive, it explains the behavior in words. Graphic, then shows degrees visually. Then forced choice, it will help to reduce bias. Paired comparison, it will compare the individuals. Rank order, it will arrange all the ranks in position. Numerical, it uses scores. So what is the importance of different rating scales? It helps in evaluation of the students. It provides data for guidance and counseling. It will assist in identifying the strengths and weaknesses. Okay, it will support individualized teaching. It is useful in behavioral and personality assessment. It will help teacher in maintaining systematic record. It will improve objectivity in evaluation process. What is anecdotal record? How do you maintain it? So an anecdotal record is brief, objective, and factual description of significant incident or behavior of an individual observed in a natural setting. That means just one quality of an individual is taken and it is described, and the main thing is in a person's natural setting, that is in a person's own environment, this anecdotal record is made. It is widely used non-standardized technique. Okay, as it is used in the person's environment, and as it is recorded in the person's environment, it is a non-standardized technique. Okay, then it focuses on only specific incidences that are meaningful rather than routine or trivial. Okay, these records help in capturing real life behavior as it occurs. Okay, then it is maintained by teachers, counselors, schools, school authorities, etc. Okay, it helps in identifying patterns, strengths, weakness, and problem solving behavior. Like for example, how let's take a student. Then anecdotal record means, let us say, how he performs in maths subject. That is very specific, right? Okay, it is a significant. It is very specific how he performs in maths. Okay, how his problem solving skills are there in mathematics subject. This is a factual description. Okay, what is the meaning and nature of anecdotal record? It is a descriptive narrative of an observed incident relating to student behavior. Okay, or let us say how a student behaves with his friends. Behave with, or let us be more particular, behaves with his best friend. Okay, he might have many friends, but he might be close with one particular friend. So a teacher observing how a student's behavior is with his best friend, that is the one whom he moves very closely with. Okay, it is descriptive narrative, focuses on specific, significant, and observable behavior. It is written in simple, clear, and factual knowledge. It is free from personal bias or judgment. It is maintained systematically over time. Then it provides qualitative data. It reflects actual behavior in natural settings. It is a student's own environment. What are the characteristics? It is objective, selective, descriptive, specific, chronological. That means it is recorded in a particular sequence. It is relevant, it is systematic, it is confidential, it's kept secret. It is written in simple language. It is useful for long-term analysis. So, maintenance of anecdotal records. So, first, what one should observe? A teacher should observe behavioral pattern, emotional reactions, social interactions, academic behavior, problem situations, special abilities or talents, and changes in the behavior over time. Behavior is dynamic, it keeps on changing. So, those changing behaviors with time also should be recorded. So, what are the areas to be noted down? Date and time of observation, name of the student and observer, context or situation, like in what situation you have observed that particular behavior, whether in classroom, playground, etc. Detailed description of the incident. What is the behavior that is observed? Then immediate outcome of the behavior. Any follow-up action to be taken for that behavior. Then remarks. Then what is the method of recording? Record the incident immediately or as soon as possible after observation. Because if you delay, you might forget. You might forget the small nuances, or you might forget the small incidents that has happened during that particular period. So it is very important to record the incident immediately. Okay, use clear, simple, and factual language. Avoid interpretation or personal opinion in the description. You should not write anything of your personal things, okay? Your personal observation or your personal uh, uh, feelings, you should not write. You should write whatever you have observed. Okay, maintain separate section for facts and comments. Keep it consistent. Keep it very consistent. Okay. If you are writing in one particular format, continue writing it in the same format. You have to maintain consistency in the format. Keep records organized and systematic. What is longitudinal approach? So, anecdotal records mainly follow an approach called longitudinal approach, meaning observations are made over a long period of time. Okay. It helps in identifying the behavioral trends and developmental challenges. Okay, it will provide comprehensive view of the student growth. It will help in understanding the causes of the student's behavior. Okay, it helps in maintaining accuracy. Okay, and it will help the counselors to track the progress effectively. What are the main basic considerations in maintaining an anecdotal record? Objectivity, accuracy, timeliness, relevance, clarity, confidentiality, consistency, completeness, non-judgmental attitude, and usefulness. What are the advantages? Provides real and direct observation of the behavior, help in understanding individual differences, used for identifying problem behaviors early, supports personalized guidance and counseling, tracks development over time, provides qualitative and detailed information. Okay, and useful for parent-teacher communication. What are the limitations? It may involve, as usual, observer bias. It is time consuming and it is difficult to generalize the findings. It depends mainly on the skill and the interest of the observer. There are, and many times the observer might miss important incidents if not observed. And there is lack of standardization. What are the uses of anecdotal records? Understanding individual behavior helps in identifying strengths and weaknesses. Early identification of problems provides basis for guidance and counseling. Studying behavioral patterns over time. Supporting diagnosis of student difficulties. Okay, they can early diagnosis of students problems can happen via anecdotal records. Evaluating effectiveness of guidance program, improving teacher understanding. A teacher can understand student better. Facilitating communication with parents. If any problems teacher has identified, immediately she can communicate with the parents and take necessary action. Help in report writing and record keeping. Assisting in student adjustment. Encouraging self-understanding in students. What is a case study? Case study is a detailed, comprehensive, and systematic investigation of an individual to understand his or her behavior, personality problems, and background. Okay, it is also a non-standardized technique. Okay, it is not limited to single aspect, but it covers physical, physiological, social, and environmental factors. Okay, when we are looking into case studies of a particular person, we take two things into consideration, that is, physical, socio-economic, and cultural environment of an individual, and then the history and the present status of the family of the individual. So, what is physical and socio-economic and cultural environment? They are the external condition in which the individual lives and grows. It has three types, that is, physical, socio-economic, and cultural environment. Physical environment refers to living conditions like housing, cleanliness, surroundings, and availability of basic features like light, ventilation, study space. Socioeconomic means family income, economic status, and cultural environment means traditions, customs, and values followed by the families. Okay. Then history and present status of the family is their family background and their current family status. The family history includes things like structure of the family, whether it is joint or nuclear, relationship among family members, then educational level of parents, then past events that are affecting the families like conflicts, migration, etc. Then present status includes current relationships, emotional climate at the home, and parental support and involvement in education, discipline practices and parenting style, and family expectations and pressures. So, what are the methods used in case study? Interview, observation, anecdotal records, cumulative records, psychological tests, and questionnaires. What are the steps in case study? First, identification of the individual problem, then collection of relevant data from various sources, then organization and analysis of data, then interpretation of findings, then diagnosis of problems, suggestion of remedial measures and guidance plan, and then the last but which is most important is the follow-up sessions. Okay. What are the uses of case studies in guidance? Helps in deep understanding of individual personalities, useful in diagnosing complex problems, assist in planning individualized counseling program, help in predicting future behavior and development. So, what are the advantages? Case studies are comprehensive and detailed information. It covers all aspects of a particular individual's life, helps in understanding cause effect relationships, is used in providing personalized guidance. It is flexible and adaptive. There are some limitations also. There it is time consuming and it involves a lot of effort. It requires skill and expertise. And there is a possibility of bias. And it is very difficult to generalize the findings. It requires collection of large amount of data. What is cumulative record? Explain. So cumulative record is comprehensive, continuous, and permanent record of all the relevant information about the students maintained over a long period of time. So it includes details of students like personal, academic, social, health, and behavioral aspects. Okay, it is one of the important guidance and counseling tool in order to get the complete picture of an individual. Okay, cumulative means, as we already know, it is the information that is collected and added continuously year after year. It helps teachers and counselors to understand the growth, development, and progress of a particular student. Okay, it acts as a central source of information for educational planning and guidance services. Okay, then this is the meaning. What is the meaning of cumulative record? It is a systematic collection of data. It is structured and organized. It includes both quantitative, that is, marks and scores, and qualitative, that is, behavior, interests, and other information. Okay, it is updated regularly to reflect the current status and development. It is confidential in nature and used for professional purpose only. It helps in understanding the individual differences and needs. What is the information that is included in cumulative record? Personal information like basic identification details like name, age, date of birth, gender, etc. Home background, that is information about family and home environment, like parents' education, occupation, family income, type of family, etc. Then test scores includes academic performance and evaluation results. It also includes scores of intelligence, aptitude, and achievement tests. Then school attendance, that is used, that is the record of regularity and punctuality of a particular student. Then not only this, it also has the health record. That is the information about physical and the mental health, any medical history of illnesses and disabilities of the student, etc. And it has miscellaneous information regarding co-curricular activities, behavioral observation, interests and hobbies, and participation in various sports and various awards and recognition. Then what are the features of cumulative record? It is comprehensive, continuous, it is permanent, it is systematic, it is confidential, it is up to date, and it is useful for guidance and counseling. What are the uses of cumulative record? Provides complete understanding of the student. It helps in identifying strengths and weaknesses. It assists in educational and vocational planning. It is useful in diagnosis and behavioral related problems, and it helps in providing individualized guidance. It supports teachers in effective teaching and evaluation. It facilitates communication between school and parents. Okay, what are the advantages? It is comprehensive and gives reliable information. It saves a lot of time by maintaining ready reference data. It is useful for long term study of the student. It helps in making accurate decisions, and it supports systematic guidance program. What are the limitations? It requires regular updating and maintenance. It has a possibility of incomplete or inaccurate data. It needs proper organization and storage. There is a high risk of misuse if confidentiality is not maintained. So secrecy should be maintained. It is time consuming. What is the need and importance of cumulative record? So it is mainly used to maintain continuous history of the student development. It helps in avoiding fragmented or incomplete understanding. That is, it gives complete understanding of the student. Provides ready reference provides ready reference information whenever required. It supports scientific and evidence-based guidance practices. It ensures coordination among teachers, counselors, and administrators. Facilitates long-term planning and follow-up of student progress. So what is the importance? It is comprehensive understanding of an individual. It is a foundation for effective guidance and counseling program. It helps in identifying strengths, weaknesses, and various problem areas. It helps in educational and vocational educational planning. It helps in follow-up and continuity of guidance service. So these are further other important points. It facilitates individualized instruction. It enhances understanding of learners' background. It improves classroom management. Helps in monitoring and evaluation of academic process. It helps in identification of learning difficulties. It helps in planning effective street teaching strategies. It supports continuous and comprehensive evaluation, that is CCE, and it also strengthens teacher-student relationship. So these are the some more important points. It helps in educational planning and policy formulation. Student classification and grouping. It aids in student classification and grouping. Helps in monitoring institutional performance. Helps in decision making and promotion and decision making in promotion of a particular student and placement of a student. Helps in efficient utilization of the resources. And it helps in maintaining official records and documentation, communication with parents and external agencies, identification of trends and patterns with respect to attendance, performance, behaviors, etc. Planning and evaluation of guidance programs, and ensuring continuity and transfer of records. That is, if a student goes from one class to the other class, the reports are carried on. The behavioral reports are carried on from one class to the from the before class to the next class. That is transfer of records. So this ensures continuity in learning. What are the characteristics of a good cumulative record technique of guidance? Okay. So what are the characteristics of good cumulative record? It is comprehensive. It is continuous, and it should be updated regularly from time to time. It should be accurate and authentic. All the facts that are mentioned in a cumulative record should be factually correct and should be verified, and they should be based on reliable sources. They should be objective and free of bias. Systematic and well organized. They should be simple, clear, and understandable. Any person, after reading it, should understand what is going on. It should be relevant and purposeful. It should be maintained confidential, and it should be secured properly. It is cumulative and permanent in nature. Okay, that is, it provides a long term development history of a student. It should be flexible and adaptable. That means it should have scope for modifications. It should be based on multiple sources of information, that is teachers, parents, tests, observation. All of them should be referred while collecting information. It is useful for guidance and decision making. It should be accessible and very easy to use. It supports evaluation and it should support evaluation and further follow-up. What is an interview? What are the different types of interviews? Explain. What is an interview? An interview is a purposeful face-to-face interaction between two or more persons in which one person, that is the interviewer, will seek information. That means he will gather information, understanding or guidance from another interviewee. That is, the interviewer will collect the information from the interviewee. Okay. It is widely used technique to collect detailed personal, social, emotional and academic information. There is a direct communication, clarification, and deeper exploration of responses. It builds rapport, trust, and mutual understanding between the counselor and the student. They're flexible and can be used for diagnosis, counseling, selection, and evaluation process. It is both data collection tool and a helping process. Okay. So this is the meaning and nature of interview. It is a systematic method of communication that is used to gather information. It will involve both verbal interaction and non-verbal cues like expressions, tone, etc. It can be both formal or informal. It requires various skills like patience and sensitivity. Okay. And it provides quality and in-depth information of a particular person. Types of interviews. There are basically 8 types of interviews. Employment interview. It is conducted for selection of right candidates for job positions. Okay. Fact-finding interview. It is conducted to collect specific and factual information about an individual. Diagnostic interview. It is conducted to identify the problem of a particular person, the difficulty of a particular person. Okay. Uh, then counseling interview. The main aim of this interview is to help individuals understand and solve their personal problem. Group versus individual interview. What is individual interview? It is conducted with one person at a time. Okay, there is lot of privacy and confidentiality maintained in an individual interview. Group interview, it is conducted with more than one individual simultaneously. This is mainly used to understand a group behavior. Okay. It is mainly used in orientation courses. Authoritarian versus non-authoritarian interview. Authoritarian interview is in interviewer or the person who is conducting the interview. He controls the process, the interview process, and directs the conversation. There is limited freedom to the interviewee. Okay. Non-authoritarian interviewee, that is a person who is getting interviewed, is given the freedom to express his thoughts and feelings. Interviewer acts as a facilitator and a guide rather than a controlling authority. Directive versus non-directive interview. Directive interview is wherein the interviewer will guide the conversation with specific questions and structure. Okay, non-directive the interview is interviewee leads the conversation. Okay, directive is when interviewer is in the main position. Non-directive is when interviewee is in the main position. It is somewhat similar to authoritarian and non-authoritarian. interview. Okay. Structured and unstructured interview. Structured is interview is wherein there are the questions are pre-planned and they are asked in a fixed order. Okay. Unstructured is there is no fixed format. Okay. The questions vary depending upon the situation. General principles of interviewing in counseling situations. Establish rapport. Maintain confidentiality. Listen actively. Use simple and clear language. Be objective and non-judgmental. Encourage free expression. Observe the non-verbal behavior like face expression, gestures, and tone. Avoid leading questions. That means always avoid asking too many questions. Try to be a good listener also. Be patient and empathetic. Record information properly. Advantages are provides first-hand and direct information, allows clarification of doubts immediately, helps in understanding emotions and attitude deeply, is flexible and adaptable, builds rapport and trust, useful for diagnosis and counseling, allows observation of non-verbal behavior, suitable for individualized guidance. Limitations are it is time consuming and there is bias, requires skill and training. The responses may be influenced by social desirability. Difficult to record everything accurately. Not suitable for large groups. Lack of standardization may lead to misinterpretation. What are standardized techniques? Explain in detail. So, standardized techniques are scientific, systematic, and objective methods of collecting data in guidance and counseling. These techniques are developed using uniform procedures. As we see in the question itself, standardized. That means uniform procedures, standardized instructions, scoring methods, and norms. They ensure reliability, validity, and objectivity in measuring psychological traits like intelligence, aptitude, achievement, interest, and personality. Okay, they provide quantitative data that can be compared across individuals. Okay, they provide accurate assessment and they are very accurate assessment techniques and they are useful for decision making. Okay, they make guidance more scientific, precise, and evidence based. Aptitude tests. They measure an individual's potential ability to learn or perform in a specific area. So, how well a person can learn or perform in a specific area can be measured by the help of aptitude tests. They help in predicting future performance and success in a particular field. So, what are the uses of aptitude tests? They help in identifying natural abilities and talents, help in career selection and vocational guidance. They assist in educational planning and subject choice. They predict future success in specific fields. They identify strengths and weaknesses. They help teacher plan appropriate instruction. They assist in selection and placement. They guide students towards suitable careers. They support individualized guidance programs. They help in reducing trial and error in career decisions. Okay. Special aptitude tests. They are designed to measure specific ability related to particular field. Aptitude tests are only they are specific in nature. Special aptitude tests are even more specific in nature. They include mechanical aptitude, that is, ability to understand machines, clerical aptitude, speed and accuracy in office work, artistic aptitude, creativity in and design skills, musical aptitude, sense of rhythm and tone, scholastic aptitude, academic ability. So these are special aptitude tests. Vocational aptitude battery. So why is it called battery? Is it battery in electrical circuits or is it battery in current? No, battery here refers to set of tests. Okay, so vocational aptitude battery means a group of tests that is designed to measure different abilities required for various occupations. So what are the types of aptitude batteries? Again, I'm clarifying batteries means group or set of tests. It is not batteries of current. Okay. So what are the types of aptitude batteries? General aptitude test battery, that is GATB. They measure multiple abilities such as verbal, numerical, spatial and motor skills used for vocational guidance and job placements. That is general aptitude test batteries. The next one is different aptitude tests. Differential aptitude test, DAT. They measure specific ability like reasoning, language, numerical ability, and spatial ability. They help in identifying strengths in different academic areas. Flanagan Aptitude Classification Test, ACT. They measure wide range of aptitudes required for different occupations, that is job related. Okay. Academic Promise Test, APT. They are used to predict academic success and potential. They are useful for identifying students who can perform well in higher education. Okay, so what are the different tests? Since it is a bit tricky, I'm going to revise it again. GATB General Aptitude Test measures multiple abilities like verbal, numerical, spatial, and motor skills. Differential Aptitude Test measures specific abilities. General measures multiple abilities. Differential, it measures specific abilities like reasoning, language, numerical ability, and spatial. These are specific ones. Then Flanagan Aptitude Classification Test, that is FACT. They measure wide range of aptitude tests required for different occupations. They are job related. Remember that. FACT is for jobs. Then APT is for higher education. Okay, that is academic promise test. That is for higher education. Then you have scholastic aptitude test. They measure the general academic ability and readiness of a particular student for higher education. Okay, then achievement tests. Okay, it helps in measuring what an individual has already learned or achieved in a subject. It reflects past performance. It mainly focuses on the past performance rather than the future potential. Then interest inventory. It measures an individual's likes, dislikes, and preferences towards particular activities. Okay, it helps in understanding career interests and inclination. So, what are the various methods of measuring interest? Observation, expression and counseling, use of various instruments, use of inventories like questionnaires, etc. Advantages of interest inventories. Okay, they help in identifying career preferences. They provide objective measurements of interest. They are useful for vocational guidance. They help in making realistic career decisions. They are easy to administer and score, and they provide systematic data for counseling. What are the limitations? The interest of a person may change over time. Then the responses may not reflect true interest. A person might have one interest inside and might talk about a different interest, and influenced by social desirability. It requires proper interpretation. It may not consider the abilities and skills. Again, bias may be there, and limited scope in complex situations. It depends on the honesty of responses, and one cannot predict success alone. Okay, success only cannot be guaranteed. Okay, need to be combined with other techniques. It cannot be used alone. So some of the most important interest inventory tools are Coder richer Coder interest inventory. It measures the interest in different fields. That is Coder vocational preference record, KVPR. It identifies interest related to specific occupation. Coder general interest survey, KGIS. It measures general areas of interest. Coder occupational interest inventory, KOII. It measures interest with specific job roles. Then strong vocational interest band. Okay, it measures interest patterns and compares them with successful professionals. That means it measures the interest of it will identify the interest of a particular person, and it will compare that interest with those of successful professionals in that particular field. Okay, it helps in predicting career suitability. What are personality tests and what is their purpose? Explain. Personality tests are systematic tools used to measure and evaluate the various traits, characteristics, and patterns of behavior of an individual. They are unique combination of emotional, social, mental, and behavioral traits that mainly influence how a person thinks, feels, and acts. Okay, they help in understanding the overall adjustment, attitudes, and behavioral tendencies. They are used along with other techniques to obtain a comprehensive picture of the individuals. Okay, personality assessment is very important as it affects the academic performance, social relationships, and career choices. What is the meaning of personality tests? They are the tools that are designed to assess stable traits and patterns of behavior. Okay, they measure aspects like emotional stability, introversion or extroversion, adjustment, attitude, etc. They are structured or subjective, that is projective. They can be objective or subjective. They provide both quantitative and qualitative information. Purpose of personality training: understanding the individual as a whole. Okay, they help in diagnosis of behavioral and emotional problems. They provide effective counseling. They help in educational and vocational guidance. They help in improving self-understanding and prediction of behavior. What are the various test techniques for testing personality? Interview, observation, self-rating, and personality inventories. Okay, that is individuals rate themselves on various traits and behaviors. They include standardized questionnaires. Okay. Example personal inventories like introversion, extroversion scales, like whether it is used, this introversion, extroversion scale are used to measure whether a person is an introvert or an extrovert. Then checklists. Okay. Rating scales, situational or behavioral tests, projective techniques. In these techniques, individuals respond to ambiguous stimuli. Okay. So ambiguous stimuli means they are the sensory inputs or the situations that can be interpreted in multiple ways due to the lack of clear meaning or information. That is, a person will not know from where the stimulus is coming. Okay. Revealing this will this ambiguous stimuli will reveal hidden feelings and other unconscious aspects. Okay, some examples are ink blot tests and story completion, and then anecdotal records and autobiographies. So all these are techniques for testing personality. What are the advantages of personality tests? They provide systematic and scientific assessment. They help in understanding individual differences. They're useful for guidance and counseling. They assist in identifying various problem areas. They support personal and vocational development. What are the limitations? There is possibility of subjectivity or bias. Responses may be influenced by social desirability. They require trained professionals. And personality is complex and cannot be fully measured by tests alone. And then results should be used. These results should be used with along with other techniques. This technique cannot be used alone. It should be combined with other techniques. Projective techniques are a group of psychological methods that are mainly used to study hidden, unconscious aspects of a personality. That means whatever qualities of a person we cannot see from outside, hidden qualities of a person can be understood by this projective techniques. They are based on the idea that when an individual is presented with ambiguous or unstructured stimuli, this means the source of the stimuli is not known. It can be sensory, it can be auditory, it can be tactile. Any kind of stimulus is given to a person, and the person is not known what stimuli it is. Then they tend to project their inner feelings, thoughts, conflicts, and desires. Okay, they are widely used in guidance and counseling to understand the deep emotional problems, motives, and personality dynamics. Okay, they are less structured and more interpretive in nature. Okay, they are useful in studying emotion as attitudes, conflicts, and deep inner experiences of a person. Okay, they use more meaning and nature of projective technique. It's based on the principle of projection, where individuals express their inner feelings unconsciously. So this must be remembered. They also don't know that they're telling out their inner feelings. Okay, the use of ambiguous stimuli like picture, words, or situations. Responses are open-ended and not restricted. They provide qualitative and in-depth information. They require skill interpretation and it can only be done by trained professionals. They're useful in understanding deep personality structures and what the deep emotional connections. Self-rate. So some of the types of projective techniques include self-rating and personality inventories. That is paper and pencil tests. They're structured techniques where individuals respond to a set of statements about themselves. So what are its features? They're objective and easy to administer. They provide quantitative scores. That is the scores that can be measured. They're useful for assessing traits like introversion, extroversion, emotional stability. What are the limitations? The responses can be fake or socially desirable. Limited in revealing deep unconscious aspects. That is, the person may not reveal the deep unconscious aspects. Okay, depends on self-awareness and honesty of the individual. That means the person who is undergoing this counseling may be fully aware of what is happening and he might not respond properly. May not capture the complex personality traits fully, and cultural and language differences also might be there. Then another projective technique is situational or behavior test. In this, the individuals are placed in real or simulated situations to observe their behavior. Example, group discussions, then problem solving tasks to observe decision making. What are some of the features? They provide practical and realistic assessment. They are useful for observing actual behavior rather than reported behavior. Limitations. The behavior may be artificial due to awareness of being observed. It is time consuming and very difficult to organize. Interpretation may again involve lot of subjectivity. It is not always possible to create real life situations accurately. Daily diary techniques. Individuals are asked to maintain a regular record of their daily activities, thoughts, and feelings. They help in understanding the behavior patterns and emotional changes over time. Okay. Features is provides continuous and longitudinal information used for studying habits, routines, and emotional experiences. What are the limitations? It requires regular and honest recording of information. It may become incomplete or irregular. Individuals may hide or modify the information. It is time consuming. Okay. Some other common projective technique practices are word association test. Word association test means responding to words with first thought. Okay, a word is asked, and whatever thought they get initial at the first time, they should answer it correctly. Sentence completion test. Completing incomplete sentences. Storytelling techniques. Creating stories based on pictures. What is the purpose? To reveal hidden feelings, attitudes, and conflicts to understand inner personality dynamics. Advantages of projective techniques include they reveal unconscious aspects of personality, they provide deep and rich qualitative data, they are less affected by social desirability bias, they are useful in understanding emotional conflicts and motivation. They are also helpful in clinical and counseling settings. Limitations of projective techniques, they require very high skill and training. Okay, it is time consuming process and lack of standard procedures. The results may vary depending upon the interpreter.